This Pottycast will hopefully contain words or statements of obscene, pornographic, or immoral character. You have been warned. You have been warned.
We receive dozens of emails from people that will listen to the podcast. The podcast.
Wow, well, it is pretty much.
Oh yeah. How's that gonna feel that I hear that? Put my lips on my pee-pee. Holy shit. You're not gonna make me hit pause already.
So, well, first of all, I think this is the earliest we've ever done a podcast.
Oh, probably, but we just bullshitted for fucking half. Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah. Well, when we technically started, that would have been the earliest we've ever started. I'm like, this new job has turned me into a morning person, which I never, ever thought was going to happen. And
Loki has made me a morning person.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, having a dog definitely changes that up a little bit, but yeah. And I'm not even mad about it. Like it's actually been kind of nice. Like I get up around 7 every morning for work, but then I'm also getting up at 7 on the weekends now. But it's cool because I got up this morning, straightened up the house a little bit, went out and cleaned the chicken coop, did some laundry. So like already got some like shit like happening before it's even noon. So that's cool. But yeah, anyway, so I'm being a morning person is not as horrible as I used to think it would be. I don't hate it.
I am not. Amanda's brother-in-law gets up like in the early digits, like 3 and 4. And he does it like when we went to Tennessee, he still gets up at 3 and 4. I'm like, no
Does
fucking
he do
work.
that because of his job?
Work. Yeah. I think he gets up, gets ready, and goes in. I don't think he has a big commute, but I think they start early, and he needs to be there before everybody else. Cooper's starting to live that life too. So
yeah, this now that's psycho. Like, like I said, like some people are probably listening and being like, "You get up at 7, like that is not sleeping in, or that is not getting up early. Like that is sleeping in for some people." I realize this, but for me, getting up at 7 on the weekend, that is like a new phenomenon that I'm not used to. So, but it's cool. Like I don't know if I'll always be like this, but for right now, it's kind of motivating to be up early and like getting shit done.
fuck yes. Oh, before I forget,
Yeah.
whoever you are in Indiana that listens to us, thank you. That's really fucking crazy. Because I don't know how the fuck you would have even found us. But I really appreciate you spending your hard-earned time or, well, whatever. I'm glad that we're part of your life. Aw.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, extend that to anybody who listens, really, because, I mean, you have lots of choices in your podcast environment. Like, thank
me,
you.
I usually select crazy Christian ones, but besides that...
Oh, man. That's ridiculous.
Oh my god, dude! There's nothing more fucking exciting.
Yeah, I bet. I can only imagine.
I'm gonna send you some, and you're gonna be, what the fuck are you listening to? And I don't understand half of it because I've never read the Bible. I think my copy of I bought a book of Enoch, and I swear to God, every time I read it, my life got shittier and shittier. So I stopped reading that. I was like, fuck that. I am done reading it.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like one of the lost books of the Bible.
That's probably why it's a lost book, because people were like, we can't give this shit out. People are fucking killing themselves when they read this.
Oh my God.
How are we supposed to continue to have workers for our fucking slave society if people are killing themselves?
So yes, I totally stopped reading it, and I didn't even make it. I just read all the shit where he compared notes from different translations that he had read, and I was getting ready to, and I started, and like life fell apart. I'm like, fuck this! This book is jinxing me.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, The other thing too that is funny, like about getting up early and us doing the podcast today, I totally had this like thought come into my head about one of my coworkers listens to NPR, and it's
Oh,
just
hello, Dustin.
just I don't know, like NPR is just funny to me. It's so, like, even if you're not paying attention to like what they're saying, it is like oddly meditative just because of all the voices and stuff. So I was just like thinking like we're up early doing a podcast. I was like, we should like start talking with like quieter voices. So it'd be like, thank you for tuning in to Listener Powered POTTY. I'm your host, Steve Handjob, with our other host, MC Baby Crusher. It's 9:52 a.m. time.
Fucking unbelievable, dude. Dustin plays that shit. And I'm like, I don't ever listen. I've always got headphones. I feel bad for the guys that actually sit close to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't listen to that shit.
We
And
need
it was
to,
one of those. Go ahead.
no, I'll say we need to add in into your little fucking keyboard scenario. You need to put in like, thank you for listening to Listener Powered POTTY radio.
I'll clip it from this. It'll be awesome. Oh shit.
Yeah, that shit's so funny though. It's like how pretentious are you that you like love to hear your voice so much to like talk that way? Because like no one fucking really talks like that.
Oh my god. It was me. It's always because I'm not a political person. And I believe that they are what do you want to say? On the same side of the aisle I'm on, but I can't fucking stand listening to it. I was like, I don't need to be beat over the head for me to be told how shitty the insurance is. Like, I know because I have it.
Yeah.
And I know the shit's fucking expensive. I was like, I don't need to be fucking told for 25 minutes how expensive it is and how the coverage isn't really that great. So, fuck you. Like, how do you do that? I don't know.
The one thing I thought would be cool to talk about today, because I actually have some questions for you.
Yeah?
I have questions for you that I think are timely and tie into the topic I would like to present. So I thought it would be kind of cool to talk a little bit about Mojo Nixon.
Dude, how fucking
recent passing, unexpected passing, which was sad. I think he died in his sleep on a boat, you said?
So, yes, from what I read, he was hosting I guess an outlaw country cruise because that was his radio show. So I assume it was part of that. And he was co-hosting the cruise and basically fucking died in his sleep from a heart thing. They didn't even say heart attack. I forget what the proper term was. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's just sad. But then epic buzzkill from like a selfish standpoint. If you're like on that cruise, like how much of a buzzkill is that when like the star of the cruise you're like going to see like dies on the fucking thing?
Dude,
like
I'd be fucking devastated. And then the fact that you're stuck on the cruise for another couple days. And look, yeah, it's real. This is a real selfish fucking conversation. And the guy you're there hosting the thing is dead. Oh my God. Yeah, so do they helicopter him off? Or do they just put him in the freezer with the hamburgers and wait till he gets back?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like big ships like that, they have to have some type of
like a morgue almost.
Yeah, because like, dude, like think of all the old people that go on cruises. Like, there's definitely like old people dying on cruises like every fucking day. There's got to be a place to put them.
Dude, you make it sound so commonplace.
No, but it's got to be though. It's just shit that you never think about. But like,
you're absolutely right. I assume that they do have to account if they have an onboard doctor. They have to have, I would assume, some sort of morgue or freezing device.
Because like you're on like a 10-day cruise, and like you're fucking 78 years old, and your fucking wife kicks the fucking bucket, and you're only 3 days in. you're stuck on a fucking boat for another 7 days grieving your dead wife, and she's in a fucking meat locker, like under the fucking boat.
Oh my God, what's worse? Dying on the boat or being stuck there to grieve? Because no family. Well, not true. Because if my family goes on a cruise, they pretty much, I think almost everybody goes. Not me. Because I don't want to get stuck on one of those fucking, what do you want to say, sickness incubators.
Yeah.
Like, dude, no, I'm good.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think maybe like thinking about this out loud as we're discussing this, like maybe there's like a flip side to it where you are put in a position, like let's say like the Mojo Nixon one specifically, you're put in this position where you're with a bunch of fellow enthusiasts of him or whatever the event was about, and then you are with a big group of people that are like-minded, so maybe it's like you're grieving all together, and like that could actually maybe be kind of powerful in like getting through it together, sort of a thing.
That is very true, because that circumstance makes you grieve. Unlike
you're forced to fucking deal with it because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not like when my dad died, like there was no grieving because it was like we got to take care of X, Y, Z, blah blah blah. Like everything like had to be thought out and taken care of. And I assume when you're on the boat, you're kind of fucked, and you have to actually deal with it there and then, versus kind of putting it off.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. Well, I guess I did just compare my dad's death to Mojo's, but it was more about the grieving process than it was about Mojo.
I mean, your dad was pretty cool, but I don't know if he
wasn't.
Mojo
He
Nixon
probably wasn't
status.
Mojo Nixon cool. Yeah, yeah.
Because of him passing, I was just been thinking about him a lot, and I know for a fact that you and Phil were definitely the people who got me into him. But I didn't know like what the initial spark was. Like, how did you guys get into him? Like, where did that come from?
I'm going to tell you a little story now because I figured it out unknowingly just this week.
Oh, okay.
So when I go to bed, this is so stupid. Like I'm so anti-social media right now that like I go through and I check messages. Like if somebody's messaged me, then I'll get back to them. But like, there's not a whole lot of going through loving and liking and stuff like that. Like it's really
You're anti-social media.
That should be a fucking Craven Moorhead song. Oh my God, that might be the next one for the split. Oh my God,
sorry, that was a dumb joke. But I had
that was fucking awesome. Here, let me give it to you. Oh, that was the wrong one. I was gonna give you applause.
That's all it deserves. It deserves a boing. Boner noise.
So my Sudoku playing, I either listen to like old podcasts. So there's only like 2 podcasts to go back and listen to old ones of. But so I listen to either of these 2 podcasts. But for some reason, fucking Doggy Style 2 is in my head. Like that album, like I had to listen to it Monday night. And I did like 2 nights of listening to it like back to back to back to back. It's a really good fucking record. Like it is ridiculously good and just totally underrated. And the fact that it's hidden on the backside of Don't Hit Me Up CD is fucking just a criminal act into itself. But I'm like, all right, I got to get the fuck out of this. I got to get this out of my head. Like, what can I do? So I was trying to aim for something that was old, about that same time frame. And I ended up on one of the rap music for rat people. And I am a fan of number 3. And the beginning of side 2 of number 3 is Mojo Nixon. So, and I think that's like it's like 88. It's not 88. I think it's like 86 or 87. That one is. And I think that's where it started for me. And I would assume for him that's where we first heard him.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, we talked about those comps on our comp episode forever ago. So that makes sense. Yeah.
It was fucking awesome because it's I Ain't Gonna Piss in No Jar, which is a fucking amazing song. And I'm not even a drug person, but
I'm not sure if I know that song actually.
It's about Ron and Nancy making us do piss test. So there you go. That dates it even more.
Well, one of the first things I thought of was like his collab with Jello.
Oh wow. I don't even know if I even listened to those.
Yeah, like the Prairie Home Invasion. But
which is another fucking fantastic NPR reference.
Why is that?
Well, it's Prairie Home Companion is a show that was done on NPR for years, played on the weekends. I think they still do it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to do some fucking work on the weekends and maybe you'll hear it.
That's cool. Well, the song that anyway, I looked up that album on YouTube because I had heard like a few songs from it here and there, but like I'm not super familiar with it. But the one song that's really fucking cool off of that album is Will the Fetus Be Aborted? And so
nice. I don't think
it's basically, it's like talking about abortion rights and stuff, but they kind of re-released that song last year as sort of like this song is like unfortunately coming back and needed again kind of a thing. But that's like a really cool song. But the other thing I got out was this is the only Mojo Nixon record that I personally own. It's the Mojo Nixon and Skid Roper
Root Hog or Die, which is an awesome one.
Root Hog or Die, yeah, but dude, so many cool songs on this one.
Does that one have Tie My Pecker to My Leg?
It doesn't, but it has Debbie Gibson is pregnant with my two-headed love child.
And which it also could be one of his bigger hits.
Yeah, that's such a fucking killer song. And then another fucking really awesome song on that album is She's Vibrator Dependent.
Oh my, yes. Okay, so the catalog of awesome songs that he has in general is just, he's super underrated because it's not really a genre that's ever really, like, where is it played at? Like, where would you find Mojo Nixon now on your radio dial?
Yeah,
like nowhere. Like he was his own entity.
Yeah,
like that genre. I guess it's what now it's Americana. I guess he'd fall into that or folk. He'd be folk music. Oh my god, how fucking awesome is that? But so when he passed away, like it took a little bit, and that fucking first line of Tie My Pecker to My Leg is me, your mama, and some other whore floating down the river on a shithouse door. Gonna tie my pecker to my leg, to my leg. That is fucking magical.
That is magical. And I think that honestly just sparked a memory in my head that you used to sing that.
Yeah, probably. Like I can't get it out of my head right now. It
like
is.
I definitely feel like I remember you. We'd be like riding in the car or like at band practice, and you would every once in a while randomly say, "Tie my pecker to my leg." You'd like sing that little part, and I think at the time I didn't even know what that was, and I never asked what that was.
Oh my god!
Well, there's a song on Root Hog or Die that is called Louisiana Lip Lock.
Oh, on my love pork chop.
Yeah, Louisiana Lip Lock on my love pork chop.
He needed to do his own dictionary of other terms for your wing dang do.
Yeah.
Because he had them. Like it was always something different, and it made me laugh. But the problem was it was like you knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about. There was no confusion.
Yeah, he was quite the wordsmith. There's no doubt about that.
And I swear to God, one of them was from Winchester or somewhere in Virginia, close by.
Oh, he lives in San Diego. He was from San Diego.
No. Okay, well, you talk some silliness. I'm going to go to our overlord Google and ask him.
Okay.
Born in Chapel Hill. That's not that close to where we wanted to be, but he mostly grew up in Danville, Virginia. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Wonder when he moved to San Diego then.
I don't know. When he became a rock star, you know the feeling.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I 100% do. Well, on that note, bookmark that, not about me being a rock star, but about that made me think about something that falls in line with that. So we'll come back to that. But the cover of Root Hog or Die is a really, really cool album cover. Like, I feel like I never really fully appreciated it until I dug this out for us to talk about this today. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a really cool photograph. It's obviously an older picture, so it's shot with film. And there's always such an obvious difference. I don't care how much fucking Lightroom or Photoshop you do to a digital photo, you can never make it look as cool as film. Like, film just has that romantic quality to it that like digital photos like just don't have. And the sky in the album cover, it's like this just perfectly awesome blue, and it reminds me a lot of like old like Transworld skateboarding magazine photographs. Stereotypical like California sky, like the way it looks in a photo. And they're very obviously in the Southwest, and they're standing on rocks. And I just love the way the photo's framed, and just their positioning. It just really looks like something cool is going on. Like, he is looking over at Skid Roper, and like they're just having a conversation, and the photo got snapped. So it's pretty cool. It looks very natural.
Do you know what Root Hog or Die means?
I hope you're going to tell me, because I don't know.
So, I just because I looked up the cover and it came up, it was the colonial practice of turning hogs loose and letting them fend for themselves. But the expression of it is kind of like one of self-reliance. Okay. So you can blame the fucking colonial people for root hogging dying, and now we have this unfucking with the hog problem everywhere in the Southeast. So blame the fucking colonists. They started that shit.
Yeah, well, cool. I learned something today. I didn't know about that. So did you ever see him?
I saw him a couple times. I think one at the original 930, and Goober and the Peas opened for him. So that was a fucking slam dunk.
What a killer show. You're fucking
Dude, well, we
lucky.
didn't even know who they were. Like, that's how we found them. Is they fucking came in, and not that they blew them off. It's kind of like that conversation I had with Bridge City Centers and Apes of the State. They were like two different entities. One's a full fucking band. So it was this big fucking, wall of sound and power. And then the other one wasn't a traditional band. So it didn't have the same wallop. And I think it's the same thing with fucking Goober and the Peas versus Mojo.
Gotcha.
But then I also saw him, and I can't remember the name of the club that was in Fells Point. It was on the second floor, and they used to have shows all the time. But I saw him there, and it was just him and a fucking kickbox. And it was fucking amazing.
What, like he was playing guitar and singing and like using like a suitcase drum kind of thing?
Yeah, well, he just had it looked like a fucking cherry crate that they mic'd, and it was just stomping on it while he was playing or kicking it. It was awesome.
Badass. Yeah, that's fucking cool. I definitely
because you're
respect that.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was like totally blown away because you're expecting, because I think he put the one with the Tank Man song on it. I can't remember what he put it out under, but I think it might have been him and the Toad Lickers. And I think like it was just him, which I was stoked. Like, we were waiting, and he came out, and you're waiting for the rest of the band to show up, and he started playing, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's man, how special is that you got to see that?
That was the one where I tried to buy him a beer, and he's like, "No," it was like, "Only drink gin and tonic now," or something. I'm like, "Well, I bought you a beer." He's like, "No, don't want it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take it." It was a good try, but I didn't have any money, so I bought a beer. And if you don't want the beer, I'll take it.
Well, the other thing that's really sad about it too is the drummer of the Toad Lickers. He actually wrote like a really nice, like a memorial kind of thing.
Oh shit, really?
But what's crazy is they were actually getting ready to play a show. Like they were actually practicing to play like what was going to be their final show. And like I guess they like the drummer hadn't really like played in a while, so he was like refreshing on the songs and like trying, getting up to speed with everything again. And they were going to play like their final show. And like a big part of his post that he made, he was like sort of like writing it as he was like speaking to him, which made it even more sad. And just that, basically like, I'm so sorry that we didn't get to like do that one final show together. Like, I hate that I wasn't able to be there with you on the ship. It was like really sad and touching. But yeah, it really seems like a lot of people like stoked on him.
Shit, I wish I would have known that we were going to have this conversation. Like, I think Patton Oswalt posted like the Mojo Nixon and the Toad Lickers, like what they needed when they got to the show. And it was awesome. Like what their, like, if you're going to charge us for shirts or a portion of our shirt sales, we want somebody from you guys to take care of it, like selling the shirt, so we don't have to. Because if you're getting a ton of money, you owe us, kind of shit. It was really cool, but I can't find it. If I find it, I will post it up on Witchman But he posted like right away after he died and just was saying how awesome Mojo was. And they posted like that, his whatever is, what is it, the per diem or whatever for the band. And it was great. It was just like really awesome. It just showed how down the fucking earth he was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about him, but I mean, just based on things that I've read people were saying about him, I mean, seemed like he was like a really great guy. I only saw him one time, and it wasn't even him performing. I saw him, I don't know, probably like 8 years ago now when the Dead Milkmen played out here. And I went to go see them, and he was at the Dead Milkmen show, and he came up on stage and sang Punk Rock Girl.
I saw that clip that somebody just posted that clip up recently.
Yeah, I was at that show. So that's
fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's the only time I saw him was doing that. So that was kind of very like cool in a way, because like Dead Milkmen are one of my favorite bands, and then I always wanted to see Mojo Nixon, so that was sort of like the perfect way to see him, really, I guess. But yeah, I never got to see him like do his like actual music. But I'm glad I got to see him that one time. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, and he opened, what he did that I think was maybe, how do you want to say it? It made you look back on the music you grew up with, like the old country, and look at it and go, maybe I was in the wrong mindset when I heard it, and this shit might be a little bit better than I think it was, because I was so fucking rebellious and I'm fucking 12, I'm badass, I'm AC/DC, and it kind of, you pull away from that, and like all of a sudden it kind of was like, you know what, there's something okay that's happening here, and maybe some of that shit that I dismissed because I was just being a young asshole. I didn't want to say punk because I didn't want to use that term, but it was like one of those, you put the blinders on because you want to be so different. And then all of a sudden you listen to Mojo and it's like, you know what, dude, some of that shit was really cool, or could have been cool. Maybe I need to listen to it again. And I think the simplicity of what they did, like it was for the longest time, it was just him and fucking Skid Roper. And all of a sudden it's that whole big, aggressive, in your face, beat you down. And he might be one of the reasons that we started writing dumb lyrics, trying to write to the caliber that we did.
Yeah, it's funny too, because as you were saying all that stuff, I was thinking about similar things, and definitely something that I've never thought about to this exact moment. But to echo what you just said, I think that at the time that I really started kind of hanging out with you and Phil a lot more, I mean, I was really young at the time, and I was already I was just a sponge then, and I was just like taking in like everything that you guys were listening to, and just all the music around me, just like getting into so much different stuff. And I think that I was probably listening to a lot more like aggressive punk and hardcore at the time for the most part. And I think that you guys listening to Mojo definitely was, like I said, I didn't really think about it at the time, but I think it was definitely opening a door to being okay to, you can like go off in these other tangents and like listen to stuff that isn't just like balls out in your face all the time. And you guys made that like quote unquote cool and okay to do that, because like if it wouldn't have been for like that guidance from you guys, like, hey, like this music is cool, like I probably never would have found that on my own. So it's definitely, I think, the influence of him that runs through everything we've done is really there. And I just don't think I've ever really like thought about it.
The fact that the whole lyric thing, I think, like, I never thought about it until we were just speaking, but it makes so much sense because I mean, I used to listen,
totally.
And that was one of the things, because if the people, while we were at the tannery cutting our leather hides, couldn't hear the lyrics, it at least sounded like something they could listen to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but then like your instructor would roll up and he'd actually pay attention to what the fuck he's saying, and he'd shake his head and fucking walk away. Cause I think that was like one of the couple cassettes that I had that I could get away with without the fucking lady next to me bitching about what I was listening to.
Right. Yeah, and that makes sense. It's like the lyrics are not your standard thing that like coworkers are probably going to listen to, but the music is accessible enough that they're like okay with it.
Yes, I totally, yeah. But then you listen to lyrics, it's like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, but it's just really funny. Like, I feel like when I think of bands that we've all been in, and just like the more like comedy side of the lyrical writing, I feel like I always tend to look at like bands like Meatman, Murphy's Law. Like,
yes.
That type of stuff is like the inspiration. But I think, like She's Vibrator Dependent, like that song. I mean, that's literally like lyrics that like you would have written. So I think that influences there way more than we've ever given it credit for.
Oh, absolutely. Now, yeah, just talking about it, absolutely. And his lyrics are they're fucking good. Those early albums, I haven't listened to the latter stuff after the Tank Man CD, which I can't remember which one that is. I should look it up. But those lyrics were still awesome too. It is like, but it was such a play on words all the time, and just using references and shit that nobody else was using was just fucking makes you laugh.
I don't know. Like, I don't know of any other bands at the time that were like doing what he did. I think it was like kind of, not that it was original musically, but the combination of sort of like the comedy satirical lyrics with the kind of country Americana music, like no one else really was doing that I can think of.
No, and it's funny. I mean, and the fact that his second life, I think, was probably even more successful for him as a DJ on XM is even crazier.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I listened to it once or twice. I hate fucking XM just because I feel it's the same as any other fucking radio station. And once again, we had the 70s station and it played the same 25 fucking songs.
Yeah.
And it was a whole fucking decade, and I'm getting the same fucking 25 songs over and over. Something's fucking wrong there. But
And out of those 25 songs, there's a lot of them that are really cool, but I don't need to hear them 15 times a fucking week.
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. So anyway, that was cool. I'm glad we got to talk about him a little bit, and yeah, R.I.P. and condolences to all his friends and family.
And you know what's funny is I can remember I got a silver 12 at the mall. It must have been Waxy Maxie's, and it was another one of those. The music was enough that if my grandmother wasn't paying attention, it was totally acceptable. But then as soon as you started listening to lyrics, you're like the head shakers.
like honestly, I kind of feel like Cool Jim fucking would like
Mojo
like Nixon.
It was something we could definitely get away with.
Yeah.
Like that one we could play and didn't get too much shit for.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Rip Mojo. Yeah, that might have been how we got our David Allen Coe cassette tape.
Yeah,
just saying.
Cool Jim's like, oh, you think this is cool?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of think that's it. That was you think that's crazy? Check this shit out.
Check this. I'm gonna fucking
my
blow your mind right now. Well, the final thing I wanted to bring up today.
Oh yeah.
That I'm super excited about is that tonight and tomorrow, 5 minutes from my house, 2 nights of Ween back to back.
Oh my God. You've even already got your Ween shirt on. You are fucking ready to go.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm super excited. Been looking forward to this weekend since it was announced, like back in November.
I just shake my head once again. But there's another band that where do you put them category wise?
Oh,
like,
you don't.
You don't.
That's
what did
that's
you
why
say?
they're the best band.
Brown music or whatever the fuck you said it was.
Yeah. No, if there's ever been a band that can't be pigeonholed, it's them. Like they just they just transcend all musical genres. They've done it all. They can do it all. They can do anything. They can do thrash, they can do punk, they can do hardcore, they can do country, they can do jazz. They can
I like the country album.
Yeah, they can literally do everything. They can do anything they fucking want. Yeah.
And it's amazing the song they're most popular for is fucking horrendous.
That is the song, which is so funny how they've become my favorite band. Is because when I think we probably talked about this before, but when that fucking song came out, I was like 2 middle fingers in the air to that band so much because I was like, fuck this band for getting popular for this fucking song that is an uncool version of the cool shit that we all listen to that everyone makes fun of. I was like, fuck these guys. But boy, was I wrong because
then you heard Big Jim and it fucking changed for you.
Pretty much.
That's still my fucking favorite song on that fucking album.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about that a lot, like, especially on days when I'm going to see them live. I'm like, man, to think all the years I fucking hated on them and I just didn't know. Like they were a cool band they were a cool band that snuck through the mainstream like barrier. And I didn't know that's what it was. So like they just kind of got lucky and like they were being lumped in with all the other bands that were having weird hits at the time. And they're just like, well, let's throw this at the wall and see if it sticks. And it just did. But yeah, no, basically Ramon was kind of the catalyst that pushed me to like the Ween because he was always like so disappointed that I did not like them because he was like, whenever they would
Heather
come up,
was always a big Ween fan too.
Who's that?
Heather was always a big Ween.
Yeah, but he was always like, dude, I can't believe you don't like Ween. They're just like so right up your alley with like your taste in music and stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck that band. And then I had through the grapevine or whatever, like learned about they kind of like ran in like hippie circles and stuff. Like they were kind of like associated with fish and shit. And I was like, that made me even more like, fuck this band. And then when Ramon was living out here the first time, I don't know, he just like made this big push again to like, he was like, dude, like you gotta listen to Ween, gotta listen to Ween. And he had given me all their albums. And I don't know, this one day randomly, I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking give this band a shot. Cause Ramon, I trust Ramon and he keeps like pushing this on me. So I just picked out their album, The Mollusk. And yeah, so
I don't know if that one fucking count. Well, it does count. That fucking record's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, so that was the very first thing I listened to. So he gave me wave files of all their stuff. So I've actually burned it onto a CD. And I was driving to my friend's house that weekend, who lives about 2 hours away. I was like, this is cool. I'll like listen to this in the car. And I remember just riding and not knowing what to expect at all. And just my mind being blown that day. And just trying to like comprehend all my past hate and reconcile it with like, oh, now I understand this band and I get it and I fucking love this. And for like literally like the next 3 or 4 years, it was just down the rabbit hole of it was
down
nothing.
The Ween hole.
Yeah, it was just Ween for years of just getting caught up on all the shit that I missed out on and like hadn't heard yet. And it was just perfect timing too, because when I got into them, they were in their like broken up hiatus phase. And I was so bummed because like, man, like now I know about them and I'll never get to see them. And it was like really disappointing and sad. And then about 2 years after I was really getting into them is when they got back together. So yeah, I've seen them this tonight, and this will be, these two shows I think will be my 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th time seeing them now.
So I'm of the opinion now that unless people are dead, don't ever count them out of ever coming back out of retirement.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I saw that there are rumors that there might be an official Op Ivy reunion, not just that little clip that they did, or I forget, the singer and Tim Armstrong were on the same stage, but actual rumors of a full fucking reunion.
Anybody in the know knows for a fact that little fucking, these little one-off things they're doing with the singer, that's all just like their fucking managers and marketing teams like testing the waters to see if it's like a viable like financial decision to do that, which is fucking stupid because everybody knows that it is.
Yeah.
Because like imagine if they fucking like headline some festival or like do a headlining tour, it's like it'll be fucking insane and they will make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
You know what? Are you baiting this? This could be a whole fucking. Are you fucking throwing chum in the water to see which arena? Are you going to play at the 9:30, or are you going to play at exactly?
No
or
way,
are you going?
Dude.
Or are you going like tier? Are you going to do like semi like fucking arena rock tour, or is it even bigger? I think that's what it is. I think you're right. It's like testing the waters. Like, how much reaction are we getting? Could we book a fucking Monsters of Cock tour and fucking run around and do like 12 spots and fucking be set for the rest of the life?
I think it's true. Well, those dudes are set for us for life anyway, but that would just really push it over the edge. But I think where they have to be careful is that I don't know if you can go full arena show, because I think that loses some of the like believability factor of it. So I think,
are you not punk?
Yeah,
if you do,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think that's still going to play into it. So I don't think they can do. I don't think they're playing like the football stadiums, but I think that they're playing the football stadiums if it's a festival and there's like general admission and it's like just like a big open pit.
right. So what's more important, straight up cash, homie, or street cred.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think,
Dude, I think you're dead on, because I don't think that those guys, because I've never really been a Rancid fan. That those guys can't go too big because it ruins all their street cred and their whole facade that they have put up.
yeah. And I mean, that all being said, I don't give a fuck. Like, if the Operation Ivy original members get back together and it actually sounds really good, I'll fucking go see it anywhere. Like, I don't give a fuck. But like, it would be way cooler to see them, like in the observatory out here, which is like our version of like the new 930 Club. Which is funny. I guess it's not the new 930 Club anymore. It's like 30
What's
years
called
old or
Atlantis?
something.
I think it's Atlantis.
Oh, it's not even called 930 Club anymore?
Oh no, it's called Atlantis or something.
Oh, really? I didn't even know
930
that.
still exist. The big version still exists. They have like a second side club that is like a mimicry or a tribute to the original.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Dave saw Clutch at that or something.
Yeah, and that's where they saw Quickstand.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I think that's where that show was there. Jump in if you know, kids.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, Operation Ivy reunion, I mean, whatever. It's cool. I'd go to it. Fuck it. Yeah. I mean,
Maybe,
obviously it would have been way cooler to see him back in the day, but I'll go see him now. I don't fucking care. I think it'd be cool to hear those songs. If they sound good. As long as it sounds good, then it'd be cool. But I mean, what I heard from him and the singer doing those couple songs, I mean, sounded all right to me.
Yeah, it did. It sounded good. I listened. Blown Away Bikini Kill. They sold out before the pre-sale tickets were done. Fuck it. Really?
Yeah, that's insane.
Ridiculous.
I don't understand all that shit. I know when we got these Ween tickets, I'm like, there's like so many levels of like bullshit you have to go through to get tickets for people who are going to sell out like instantly. So like I'm on the fucking, so I'm here at the house. I'm on the computer. I have my phone open up with a browser window. I have my computer opened up with a browser window. Two other people are on phones and computers in like different locations, like friends of ours that are going and stuff. So I have my friend Jordan, and we're like talking, and then like we're waiting for like the thing to switch over to like whatever the time starts, like 10 a.m. As soon as it starts, you're like frantically clicking with like your left hand and your right hand to try to like click the button to like get into like the queue where you can pick seats.
Oh my God.
And then it'll like fucking lock up, and you have to like, you like get all panicked, like, oh fuck. You're like refreshing your browser, and like it takes like a few seconds because everyone else is fucking in there. And then the button pops up again, and you'll be like, click, and you're like, then it'll say, these tickets are sold out for this section. You're like, fuck. You're like refreshing the browser again. It's like all frantic for like 3 minutes, and then you get in the queue, and you're like, oh, thank fucking God. And then you're in there, and you get your tickets, and then 10 minutes later, you like look at Instagram, and like it's fucking sold out already. It's like, it's crazy the shit you have to do to get fucking tickets for some bands. Like, it's insane.
Dude. Oh my God. Yeah. I was going to compare it to the fixation on Coworker record sales, but I'm not going to, because that's even more crazy. Like they're re-releasing that on the vinyls, and it's limited to 1,000.
Oh,
but Decibel got 200 of their own. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go for that one. That one was sold out. The sale started at 10:38. I went to Decibel, gone. I'm like, what? Wow. Which was 200. So I did get one of the other 1,000. But yeah,
you did get one?
I did get one. I don't know why. It's not my favorite record. No. And yes, I know I'm a fucking outlier.
All the 90s Victory shit that I own on vinyl, that is the one that I always super regret that I didn't grab, because I got the CD of it. I was kind of like when CDs were really getting pushed. And I feel like that was one of the victory releases where I ended up like switching over to getting CDs, and even that fucking original CD goes for a fuck ton of money too, but I wish I had it on vinyl. I love that album.
Yeah, there's a couple fucking Septic Death CDs just as expensive, like as the fucking record is, or almost as expensive. I was pissed I fucking traded that away, but whatever. I will reacquire it.
It happens.
I will reacquire.
Well, cool. Well, I think I'm about ready to wrap this up for today because I got some stuff I got to get into, and yeah, it was fun to get back on the Pottycast. Though I actually had time this week to do it, so yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you'll have to catch up and listen to the last two. Hear the discussions of the Disturbing the Peace. I think it's really cool that the boys got to go see it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gavin and Zach, for jumping in and giving us a review and spending your hard-earned cash to go see them, so I didn't have to. Yeah, I will honestly say that I did go back and listen to half the bands they talked about or played that bill. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to open up my narrow mind to new hardcore and stuff. And after shitting on, I do want to add that in. After shitting on Biohazard and saying that they weren't really a hardcore band, I think 2 or 3 more of those bands I played, I would never put in a hardcore section. I think it's a whole discussion we need to have, because what people are considering hardcore now, I don't know if I would, like, I don't think it is. Like, I don't even think it's close.
Yeah.
But it's a discussion for another day.
Indeed. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and see you next time.
All right. Adios, motherfuckers.
This Pottycast was brought to you by Potty Mouth Records. Contact us at pottymouthrecords@gmail.com and find us on the web at pottymouthrecords.rocks. That's .rocks.
That was way better than I expected.
What the fuck did they expect? We were the Craven Moorheads. Of course we kick ass.
TYCAST Pottycast.